welcome to the Retro Nerd Girl Show. I'm Retro Nerd Girl. I'm broadcasting live from the International Science Fiction Space Station, and today we're going to be looking at Gargoyles. This is going to be week 6 for us, where we've gone through quite a few of the episodes. It will be Mama Bear, Art Doll, and I talking in depth and in detail about the episodes coming up for this particular series here. We've got season 2, episode 9, 10, and 11, and 12. And for those of you who know the show, this is the grouping of episodes called City of Stone. And wow, all I can say is wow, wow, wow. It was amazing. Amazing. So let's see who is in the chat today. We've got Maria Kelly. How are you? I'm not sure what that means. Money, I don't want to say it and mess it up, but it looks like you're saying hi. And you say happy Tuesday, April 9th, 2024 to everyone. Oh, thank you. And happy Tuesday to you as well. We have some breaking news, but I don't know who these people are. Captain Saru and the president of Nivar just got engaged. Interesting. Well, there's love in the air. It's spring. And Maria Kelly also says, isn't Maria Sartis doing the voice of Morgan Le Fay? I don't know. Morgan Le Fay, that would be something to do with, that would be sorry, it just escaped my mind. Excalibur, King Arthur. I don't think I've seen her in this in these episodes, but Maria Sirtis is doing the voice of Demona, who is a female gargoyle in this story. That's about all I know of. Did not know, unless it's for like a different project. I would love to see that. And Maria Kelly says, hello, Retro Nerd Girl. Hello. And Keithy says, I can hear you. Awesome. And the Nostalgic Podcast is, Pod Blast is here. Hello, the Nostalgic Pod Blast. How are you today? Says, good evening, Retro Nerd Girl. And, Mama Bear Art Doll is here. Says, hey y'all, with a big fat heart right there. Ooh. Thank you so much for being here. And we had a really awesome conversation talking about these episodes. It was great. And Bonzo Kilborn is in the house as Retro Nerd Girl hugs. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. And Maria Kelly says it means good evening, my friends. Okay, let me try to say it and see if I Bonnie Newt Mez Amis. I'll get there one day. I probably butchered it. Oh, and Mama Bear Art Doll says Bonnie Newt means French for good night. Oh. And let's see. And Maria Kelly says Saru and the President Navarre is from Star Trek Discovery. Oh, okay. So Discovery. Don't know anything about Discovery. Well, thank you for teaching me. And the Nostalgic Podcast is doing well. Wonderful, wonderful. And and Keith E says Retro Nerd Girl is monologuing like me. Not quite as good, but I do try. Oh man. All right, so we've gotten through the greeting, and so let's get to the actual recording we did. Guys, I want you to enjoy this. This is going to be a lot of fun. lots of laughs and shocks and so on and so forth. And oh, Darth is here, says hi Retro, thank you, and lots of really cool emojis. I like those emojis. I think one is saying hi to me, so hello emojis. Oh man. Okay, great, great, great. All right, so we're ready to go. All right, so guys, I'm gonna disappear and enjoy uh, the recording that we have going on here. So, right, we're back for week 6. We're looking at episodes 9 through 12. The City of Stone, to do with the gargoyle. Just as an overview of the City of Stone, what are your thoughts on it?
I had been looking forward for us getting to this for so long. Because now you understand, and you understand why now, because this is such an epic episode.
It was, yeah. Yeah, it was. The all 4 of these put together, it just told a great deal about Damona's viewpoint of how things are going, where it went down, and also her mindset. And I can't say she goes through an arc, because she's still crazy.
She almost had a moment at the end of it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's still frustrating to watch.
Yeah, she will not, concede, but it is interesting because you do feel something for her by the end of all of the things that she's gone through. So this is really Damona's like shining moment to be seen as a character. I think if it could sum up the City of Stone. Well, it starts off. Let me get our visuals.
This does fill in a lot of the blanks that we've had up to this point.
Yeah.
Like, how does she get her name? What has she done following the massacre at Castle Wyvern?
Yes, yes. It really does fill in. If you had any blanks, because the story so far has been really well turned, but if you just were like wondering more detail, this is filling in whatever empty spots, and then on top of that, building more on top of that. So
how does Macbeth and Damona know each other? Because that has been abundantly clear that they are very familiar with each other.
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought they were married. Actually, I was like, did he get married? No, it's even. It may be even a stronger bond than that, if you will. So we start off with season 2, episode 9, City of Stone, part 1, and basically it tells us a little bit of the previously on to do with Macbeth and his search for Damona in the earlier episodes. So there is a horrible hostage situation that's going on, and you could probably see it in that little picture where there's cop cars and stuff going on. There's like a robbery slash they don't really go into detail about it.
It looks like it was like a bank robbery / hostage situation.
Yeah.
And
And
they do say, a particular T word that I'm not sure if we can say actually on here anymore or not. So
yeah, thank you for yes, I was
I'll dance around it.
yes. I was a certain kind of criminal. But there are 3 girls there. It looks like there are 3 girls being kept hostage. However, when the gargoyles come in and pretty much saves the day, the 3 girls talk to specifically them and say that they should remember that every life is precious, or they would be no different than a certain group of criminals. Let's put it like that. And Goliath says, I'll never be like those guys. And he was like, they were like, those are not the criminals we're talking about, and I took it that they meant Damona in that particular situation. So it's like, okay, you get the sort of the hint off that that's happening. But then the 3 little girls disappear.
Do you have a picture of the 3 little girls? Or because those 3 are throughout this entire episode series.
Yes, yes, and they come in different shapes and forms, and this is
They
the
always show up as the same age to in relative to each other.
yes, yes, they all like they almost look like triplets, but just
Mm.
with different color hair. It's actually pretty spooky to see them every time. Imagine if that was live action, how cool that would be played. I just was like, oh wow, I hope they, do
You would
carry this over to something live action.
when they get to this with the live action, I do hope that they find a set of triplets to do this.
Ooh, yes, that would be great. And
As
do
much as
carry
I'm sure
out
that would
that.
be hard, but at the very least, do something like what they did with Star Wars. I was going to say Star Trek, and find two actors, or find you don't need three in this case, that look identical enough that it fools the parents, which
Yeah.
is
Oh,
what they did with Phantom Menace. Because when you had both actresses in, I'm drawing blanks on both their names right now, and I feel like such a, but when you have both of those actresses that played Amidala and her guard,
oh, yes, yes, yes.
yeah, when they were in makeup, they looked so alike that it actually did fool their parents.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, now I can't remember her name. What's going
Right?
on? One of those actresses was a famous actor.
She was in Pirates of the Caribbean. She was also in Atonement, which it actually came up earlier this week. That's funny. Great movie. I will never watch it again, though.
Atonement film, right? Let's
Yes,
see, what's her name? Yes, Keira Knightley.
that's it.
Yeah,
Keira
yeah,
Knightley and
Knightley.
Natalie Portman.
Thank you.
Pretty much.
What is going? I don't
Coffee
know what's
powers
happening.
activate.
My memory, ooh, it's really bad today. So yeah, those two actresses. So yeah, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that, and it then goes to Demona, who is. Let's see if I've got a picture of that. Who Demona is got in her hand a sheet from the book Arkham.
The Grimorum Arcanorum.
Yes, and it is the magic book that we've been seeing
And
all through the.
that's in, what is it? In season 1, we do see her when they're fighting over the book. She does rip out a page.
Yes.
This is the page she ripped out. So this whole thing is a lot of stuff coming together.
Yeah. Oh, isn't it wonderful? I love
Mm.
that. Yeah. Yeah. It is wonderful how they were able to kind of have it. There was a setup in previous episodes where you're just sort of like, okay, well, why did she do that? And actually, that was something I missed and you caught, and then was kind of like,
This is why I
uh,
highlight some of these things.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, oh, great. Demona, on her way to this place, she starts recount some memories. So she goes back to 995 when Goliath left, and the captain promised that he'd
Mhm.
stop anything from happening to the gargoyles by day. For whatever reason, she decided to just leave and go on her own.
She had a good idea what was coming.
Yeah, but she thought that when she'd come back, that her brothers and sisters were going to be okay, and they were all destroyed. Then she saw Goliath came back, and at that point, she could have reunited with Goliath right then. But then she decided, no,
She knew
she'll
she fucked up.
surprise him later. Yeah,
She knew she messed up.
yeah.
She's like, I can't face him.
When she comes back, he's already made the pact or made that decision to turn into stone until the spell is broken. It was really interesting seeing all of these events that we had seen kind of objectively, but
Mhm.
at the time, it didn't realize how much we were looking at it through Goliath's point of view. That this time we were looking at it through Damona's point of view of the events that have happened. One of the things that happens is that she finds food at a stable, and then this young boy comes into the
Just a stable
stable,
boy. I mean,
and unfortunately she's there and she scratches his face. She's like, that's what get humans get for betraying us. And I'm like, well, he didn't do anything to you.
yep.
So it was really kind of wild, but that boy makes sort of a pact to always chase down these gargoyles, and so she's he's looking for her, and
Yep.
he's trying to kill her on all the same. He grows up, and we'll get to the part where he's in the story later. But we go back to the present day, and Demona has arranged with Xanatos and Owen to speak a spell into a broadcast. At this point, she's told them that the spell is to
Grant
accumulate.
immortality.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah, she.
take away
Sorry.
1 year of life from everyone who hears the spell, and then and between the three of them, they would be immortal, essentially.
And she's claiming, "Oh, this is how I stayed. This is how I stayed alive and young all these years."
Yeah. I mean, she's a trickster. I mean, I was here for it. I was like, "Ooh, what's Demona up to now?" So just as her broadcast is being sent to every channel, Owen gets wind of what is really being said. He understands what she's saying, and he tries to stop it, but it's already too late. It's already way too late. And then the three girls show up again, but this time they're grown-ups. They're, good-looking, gorgeous ladies with mini skirts on.
It's the only time we actually hear their names in the whole series.
Yes.
Literally the whole series.
Yes.
Not just this four, but literally beyond this. And they actually, it's the only time they actually address each other by name, which is Luna, Phoebe, and Selene.
Yes.
Which, all lunar goddesses friggin' love that.
Oh, yeah. They're great. Great. And it's been 975 years of waiting, according to them, for this to all come about. And so, and I was like, for what to come about? It had really piqued my interest at this point. And it goes back to 10/20/80, where Demona is now a lot older. Let's see if I can get some visuals on. This is Demona
That's her
casting the
spell.
spell through the little girls. And their message to Demona. And yes, look at how hot these girls look now.
In a very 90s outfit. Mind you, that would still pass today.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the entertaining factor.
Oh, yeah. That, I think they would totally pass today, even including those shoulder pads there. And so, we haven't gotten to this part yet, but I guess I don't have a visual, but Demona is quite older at this point in time. But with a small group of gargoyles, they steal from the human, and they're able to carve out a little life for themselves. There's a castle nearby, Castle Murray, where there is a young Macbeth there. And he's just a boy. He's fallen in love with a young lady.
Him and his father have guests over, which I don't think I ever catch the dad's name. At least it's not in my brain.
Yes.
But I know the daughter's name is, I'm going to butcher this, Gruach. I can't say it with the Scottish accent.
Yeah, the names are very unique.
Yeah, and it's one that you really need that Scottish, role to do it.
I didn't attempt a
My
little bit.
apologies to anyone who would actually pronounce that correctly.
Yes. But she is a beautiful young lady who does take a liking to Macbeth, and there's a horrible fight that breaks out when everybody has gone to bed. The hunter, the grown-up stable boy, has been sent to kill Macbeth's father, and he actually completes his task and actually kills him. It was Duncan who plots Macbeth's father's death. Now, this is all coinciding with Shakespeare's story quite a bit here, because Duncan is a character in Shakespeare's story.
In a twist of events, Demona was actually there. And she, in a very uncharacteristic for her.
Yes.
Because in the whole scuffle with the hunter, the girl sees Macbeth struggling with, so she runs downstairs, don't know how you're going to help, honey. But it is what it is. And in the whole scuffle, Macbeth gets thrown over. She tries and holds, like, he gets thrown over the castle ramparts, and she grabs him, trying to keep him from falling to his death, while Damona's got the hunter cornered. And very uncharacteristic for her.
Yes.
She actually rescues the two of them because they were both going to go over.
Oh yeah. I was like, oh, so she at this point she hasn't fully become the heartless Damona yet. She's getting there, but she hasn't totally gone sour.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was very interesting. And once they were safe, she realized she had lost the hunter. She was pissed. She was almost gonna kill. She was like gonna kill those guys. I was like, wait a minute, you just saved them, and then she just took off. She was just. And by the way, I did miss the weird sisters, if we want to call them that.
That's what they get called from here on out. Other
Yeah.
than right in this moment that you're showing, that's
Yeah.
the only time we hear their actual names.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, they're just called the Weird Sisters by everybody.
Yes. The weird sisters actually are the ones to tip off Damona. The hunter was going to be at Castle Moray.
Right.
I think at this point they were subtly saying, "Hey, you should side with Castle Moray."
You should team up with these guys, you know?
Yeah. And of course Damona is like, "No! Humans must spare me." It's just insane. But then we come back to time or the present day and in the 90s, and the spell, it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. They're like, well, what does the spell do? But as soon as
sunset
as soon as sunset arises, everyone turns to stone that has heard and seen this.
If you haven't done one or the other, and that's something that gets beautifully explained as the gargoyles wake up and find that there's statues everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Really accurate statues.
But I did want to say this, that I thought it was really a cool moment. It was sort of a shocking moment. Owen is like, "Oh, let me just tell you what happens," and it turns into stone. And I was like, oh, him seeing Fox turn to stone. He was also. I was actually.
He did scold her. He's like, "I told you not to watch that broadcast." She's like, "I was curious."
They're just. I love these two together, and I like how protective he is of her, even though it's not like a love. It's about all that he could be. So Xanatos is also another person who's not entirely evil, like that. We're dealing with people who are not entirely quite evil, but they do some things that hurt other people quite a bit. And so we get to season 2, episode 10, City of Stone part 2. Starts with, as you say, them seeing a stone statue of Elisa, and they were like, who brought us this beautiful
they're like, it's really accurate. And
I was just like, guys, don't you get what's happening? That should have gotten to them immediately, but it took some time for them to find out. They went and visited the blind man that was in a previous episode, and found out that he said this.
Podcast showed up and speaking Latin.
Yeah, and there is Damona, casting spells, and they put mute on the sound, thank goodness. But then they, because I was fearful. I was like, what if the gargoyles also hear this spell and get turned into stone day and night? This would be horrible.
Like, would there be a brief period at like dawn and sunrise, or
like, it was just, I was freaking out for them. I really was, but it seemed to not be a factor in this, so that's good. Xanatos sees Fox turns to a statue, and then Damona is actually going around the city destroying all the stone people that she sees. Like, how many humans did she kill doing that? Is horrible. Just going nuts, like every single one she sees. I think, and luckily the thing is when things turn to stone and they are broken, that they stay stone while they're
Yeah.
broken, because it would be a gooey mess. I was like, oh, when they turn, oh, that's gonna be horrible. And I was like, oh, that's right, it stays stone. So yeah, unfortunately, for those people, innocent people, she murdered pretty much, and it's just horrible.
Like, she does blast off the arms of one, and there's me in the back of my head wondering, does that woman come back without arms? Because the rest of her is still intact. You know?
Hey,
What are
that's
those
horrible.
questions that only floats around in my brain that never gets answered?
Yeah, yeah, I, yeah, that was just horrifying just thinking about that. But and to think that that is in a cartoon
Seriously, this
made
was
for
daytime.
kids.
This was daytime TV cartoon.
Yeah,
It was a dark moment.
dark, dark moment. There's a lot of death and destruction in City of Stone. Uh,
Yes.
just saying, a lot of people die. It makes it very clear that the hunter is in the present day time, and
Mhm.
that he is after Demona. And then we get this flashback to Macbeth having to give up his true love because Duncan, who is in command, has arranged a marriage her to
To Gil
someone else, which is
Gil Gil Congane, which is the one that killed,
Gilcungane. Yes, Gilcungane.
Macbeth's father.
Yes, the hunter in that time, which is the stable boy who has grown up.
At this
Um,
point, the first hunter.
I understand wanting to protect your kingdom, but the way Duncan is going about sort of manipulating Macbeth's life
It creates a
is
very self-fulfilling prophecy because he's doing all of this because he's paranoid about Macbeth taking the throne because
yes,
people like him more. I mean, he's not a paranoid little nitwit,
yes,
so that does kind of help.
and he's probably more equipped to lead than anything,
Mm,
and so that's he's always feared him, and they're cousins, and so that's kind of a wild thing. He just keeps at it, and it's like his
and he's not even aware that Macbeth's father had no intention of
exactly,
trying to force this. He was like, "Oh yeah, we Castle Moray has full support,
yeah,
for Prince Duncan."
yeah, but
And
it's
that's
always
the truly ironic part is Duncan set all of these in motion for
mhm,
no reason.
yeah, just because of his insecurity.
Mhm.
Not even one conversation that made sense in this for him. But I if you notice, the three young ladies are always showing up, kind of around.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere in this, and pretending to be servants and all sorts of things. I was like, wow, how many places can these girls be? But I didn't notice it necessarily the first time, but the second time I watched, it's like, oh, the girls,
Yeah.
oh, the girls. So
You
they're, you
it
know,
you it re this is one of those definitely rewatch
yeah,
because it's you catch so much on the second and whatnot viewing because yeah, there are so many places. They're in the police station, they're in
it's crazy. Yeah, it's great. I like that because like you said, like better to rewatch and just discover all the little details. Gilcungy the hunter marries Macbeth's love. Duncan has an order that he wants Gilcumgain to attack Macbeth, and because he refuses, he's like, "Why?" He's kind of doubting.
it's like this might raise suspicions
Yeah,
as
yeah.
to the circumstances surrounding his, Macbeth's father's death.
Yes, and this gives Duncan a great idea to tell Macbeth that that Gilcomgain was the one who killed his father, which is the truth, but he did not. He forgot to tell him that.
He
Hey,
conveniently left out the detail of why he
yes.
killed him.
Oh my goodness! I wonder if he's related to Xanatos at this point.
I know, right?
You never know. And the three women also take the shape of gargoyles, and they tell Demona to unite with Macbeth. She of course refuses, but she does go there just to get the hunter, because they do tell her that where to find the hunter. This is the second time she refuses, this I would say seduction of the weird sisters to join forces with Macbeth. But what they say is that separately you guys can't win. Together you can actually win against this
You
force.
can actually defeat him
together. And
Just not
so
think about it.
yeah, and so I think still she doesn't quite get it just yet, but all the while I love the way that she's getting older and older, but she's still strong. She's still very, very strong, but they actually show you Demona getting older and sort of being the mother of her little clan of a little group here.
Miscellaneous gargoyles that she somehow found.
Yeah. And so I thought that was wonderful. I was like, oh, I need to know more about these gargoyles. But yeah, this ties up the story of those guys too. Macbeth attacks Gilcomgain, and Demona help. And finally, Gilcomgain is killed. And you think, oh gosh, all right, this is the end of the hunter and the end of the story. But the hood of the hunter gets in the hands of Duncan. So it sort of ends with sort of the story of Macbeth marrying his love finally, and Duncan takes on the mantle of the hunter and has a son, and hands the son over to one of the weird sisters that are posing as nursemaids, and it is just, I'm like, oh my god, what are they doing there? What are they planning? And yes, that's great. And so then we turn to the modern day, in which Xanatos finds Demona, and I'm not sure how this gets started.
When Fox turns, he's like, they were already on their way to the Pack Media Studios.
Yes. Okay. Yes, that's it.
And Demona's like, she goes back because we can't have Xanatos stopping my little
party here.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember now.
Now aware that this is not what we had planned.
Yeah. And so at the studio, he destroys quite a bit of the equipment, but doesn't quite get rid of the broadcast yet. But there's this huge fight between them. She knocks over Noan, but he almost falls to the ground, and there is this incredible effort by the part of Xanatos to save Owen. It was I was like, wow, I didn't know that he cared so much. But of course, it's just probably him protecting his interests. But he dives for him, and
Owen is very unique. It's not like Xanatos would be able to find a second one.
Exactly. And even Demona, I think in episode 9 says, you're a tricky one. Understands the magic words. He understands Latin. So he's definitely very, very valuable to
Xanatos. There is more to Owen than what we see, and I laughed when she called him a tricky one. That's the only spoiler I give you guys.
Oh boy. Oh man. I wonder if there's any relation to him and Mace, the character from episode 1. Okay, well, I'm gonna save my my theories and just keep going here. But that was really interesting. I mean, I believe that he saved Owen from being destroyed twice now. Yes. So he's really Owen is very, very important. And so I'm
yeah, it
trying to
does.
figure out
I'm
what
thinking.
was it that got um that
I know
that
Goliath confronts
distracted.
Xanatos, and they wind up agreeing to work together to stop whatever Demona has done.
Yes, yes. And so this is when they finally come together and they decide to work together.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to figure out what is it that got Demona to stop her attack on Xanatos. But I don't know why I'm forgetting. Because I'm trying to think, did the hunter show up at that point? And
Yes,
and he did show up, right? And there
yes.
was a huge thing. He was flying. There's a huge fight scene that happened.
Yeah, him and his nifty toys, and like he had this
I'm just trying to figure out if
puck
it
that he
was.
shoots out at her. She tries taking off, and it catches her on her ankle, which she can't with her impressive strength. She can't break it off, so she breaks the chain.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely fantastic fight scene between the two of them, and it does show how much Macbeth, spoiler, he is the modern day hunter, how
Oh yeah.
much he knows about gargoyles.
Oh yeah. I
And
mean, well, the way he manhandled them in
mm,
earlier seasons, I was like, wow, this is really incredible. And he knows what gets them those electric shocks. They
mm,
can't exactly do everything he wants to her because he's also affected by her.
yeah,
Um,
and that's something we see in their fight is she slams him against a wall or something, and then she reacts as if she was hit.
yes, yes. Yes, and he zaps her, and he's like, he goes down, and he's like, ah! I was like, what's happening there? And so we are about to learn why that kind of thing is happening soon, because we're gonna go to all this fun time just talking and talking and talking and not showing
Yeah, there's
what is going.
Goodman
There's
Gain.
Welcome Gain,
Yeah.
and this is
Yeah,
uh,
poor Margot. She did not make it through this episode.
just terrible. So, okay, let's just jump into City of Stone Part 3.
Mhm.
And the humans wake up from being turned into stone, not knowing what's going on. They have no clue what has just happened. And one lady says, yeah, everybody got turned into stone. And they're like, yeah, it's really taken a
Well,
toll on us.
then how did you know? Well, I don't watch TV, and the TV reporter he takes that personally.
Yeah. So yeah, that's actually kind of funny at the same time. You're making a comment about television. The gargoyles, yeah, the gargoyles then turn to stone. Then we go back in time again to 1040 AD, where Duncan and his son and Macbeth and his son are out having a walk by the cliffs, and Macbeth and Duncan are talking, and Duncan accidentally falls.
Mhm.
And Macbeth saves him immediately. At this point, he could have just let him go and probably,
If he had known what was going on behind the scenes, yeah, he would have let that guy drop.
yeah. And there
But
was
you know what? This is my cousin. He's like, yeah, and you would totally do the same for me.
no, he wouldn't. And he proves that just not even a few, not even a day later, and within hours, they find a group of gargoyles in one of the caverns, and Duncan is about to destroy them. And so Macbeth says, no, 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 I know these guys. I know this one in particular. She saved my life, and she
She
can
fought by
spare
my
them.
side, and humans and gargoyles once lived together. They fought side by side, and this one
Yeah.
did with me, and blah blah blah.
And so I do have some of the clips all mixed up. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
it's okay. That
Uh,
this is how Demona sees.
the Weird Sisters predicts Duncan and Macbeth kings and causes a
In
problem.
this it, in it it's in while they're out wandering in this
Mhm.
whole gargoyle thing. Yeah, they see in a scene that is taken right out of Macbeth.
Yes, right out of Macbeth, pretty much.
It
Um,
down to the whole double trouble, toil and trouble, the whole speech.
it's really
It's
cool.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's set up what interesting because they pretty much look like this, but in human form as older
Yeah, old
women.
crones, which
They
is
tell.
how they're described in Macbeth. That's they show up as 3 old crones.
And this is really where Duncan like loses it, and he's like, "What? I'm not. I'm king," And so he gets it in his head that that Macbeth wants his throne, even though Macbeth has been saying, "No, no, I don't want it. I don't want
No,
it."
he's the king. I don't know what you women are talking about. You crazy?
Yeah,
He's the king.
that was
His
it.
son's
Duncan was
next.
like. So only a few hours later, he comes back with some guys to the cave and start destroying the gargoyles. But just as sundown hits,
He shows up at sundown, and like even one of the guys turns around and says, "Should we wait for sunrise?"
yeah, yeah,
I found them
yeah,
here. That's not a guarantee they'll be back here tomorrow night.
yeah. So it was one of those moments where you're just like, oh wow, you guys picked the wrong
Okay.
time, but also,
Listen to the red shirt.
yeah. But also, I was like, thank goodness, because they could have killed them all, and I didn't want them
Yep.
to kill them all. And not that I want them to see them kill them while they were alive, but there's something really that gets me psychologically, just thinking that somebody is helpless in
Mhm.
a state, and then somebody can just annihilate them like that.
It's
It's so
like that scene from like Lord of the Rings where the Nazgul go up and they think they're going to stab all of the hobbits in the beds. It's the wrong beds, but it's that very vulnerable somebody attacking you when you sleep.
yeah,
And that is definitely, I think it's almost a primal fear for people.
yes, yeah. There's something. Like, yeah, there's something vulnerable. At least you can run away. You can at least block
Yeah.
it, or you can fight back. But like that, you're just helpless. So yeah, I did not want that to happen to gargoyles. Okay, so Duncan sees Damona. She is really at this point very, very old, and he's trying to make a deal with her, like that they should join forces. And just as they were talking about this deal, the
It was
weird
Macbeth
sisters.
that she makes that they're talking about, because she's like, if I had my youth, I could like kick these guys' butts. And
Yeah. That's pretty
and
much what she said.
Macbeth is like, well, we did work together, and I've got my cousin's now conspiring against me. He's building an army against me. I could use your help.
Yeah. Yeah, because actually he was on his way to surrender just to save his family, just to make sure, his son and his wife was going to be safe. This looked like it was going to work. And so Macbeth gives just a bit of his youth, and Damona's youth is restored. But now these two souls are magically bound together forever. It seems
Which I
eternally.
don't think that they got all of the details of what was going to happen before they agreed to it.
Yes, okay, right. It was the sisters are like, yeah, you guys can just do this. And then afterwards we discover that they are, how strong that magical bond is. And it's quite intriguing. I do love the magic used here. They start doing sort of a montage of battles, and the gargoyles help, and eventually Macbeth becomes king of Scotland. But let me tell you that the Macbeth faces off against Duncan, and that death scene will leave you going, "What?"
I know, right?
It was gruesome. Okay, I was like, "What is happening
That
here?"
is
Yeah.
by far one of the the, the hardest scenes that they do in this series,
Oh, they
because
just went
they
for
do
it.
not hold back.
Yeah, they did not. They just went. They were like, "We need him to die
Yeah,
horribly."
we need you to know he died horribly. We're going to let you see some of it. And
Yeah,
again,
grow up.
this is daytime cartoons.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, wow. That's another thing I hope they carry over for the live action. They could.
Yes,
Sorry, but
give us that full on Indiana Jones. We opened up the box, melting face thing.
yeah, that's basically it, and it was actually really well done, and it happened fast.
Mm,
They didn't. It was sort of like I had to look at it again to make sure. It's like, wow, that's messed up. You don't want to go that way. That's all I have to say. And the fury of it, they're trying to make up with Duncan's son, who's beside himself, and he basically takes the hunter's hood and sort of is
they banish
smiling.
him to England, you know.
As he goes off to England, and he's like, he's got that "I'm coming back" look. I was like, wow, they made him look like a little bit like the Omen there, where he's sort of like, I'm coming back. he's got that he's got that hood, so he has a reason for coming back, and he's motivated because he thinks
Yeah,
that Macbeth unfairly killed his dad
and
when.
they reiterate multiple times throughout this whole series is there will always be a hunter, you know.
Yes, yes. I'm trying to figure out, okay, so if that's the case, I suppose Macbeth will probably keep it forever because I believe he and Demona are
They
immortal.
are, yeah, they will not die until one kills the other one,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is something we find out in episode 4, I think.
Yes. And at
Again,
that
this is
point,
that fine print that they did not get information about.
yeah, yeah. It's just really wonderful. I do love this. Macbeth, becomes king, and then he names Demona as his primary advisor. That this is really good for Demona, but she's like, she's still got a fiery energy. He's like, oh, people will respect you, and she's like, no, I want them to fear me, and he's like, well, they'll do that too.
Demona. She's like, Demona, I like it.
Yeah,
He
and
named
and
her
I
that because he says in the battle against Duncan, he's like, you fight like a demon.
yes, yes, yes. I love that part. And yeah, that's from this picture. Let me see, go back. There she
Yeah,
is.
that's
Uh,
where he makes the comment of, you fight
that's
like a demon.
really cool. And then let's see if we can get some. Okay, we haven't gotten there yet, but in the present day, Elisa arrives at Xanatos' studio and just in time for sundown. So she turns to stone almost immediately, it seems like.
Owen by
And
this point has already told Xanatos, like he told him like right at sunrise, uh, this is what it is, and Owen apparently knows Latin very well.
yes, yes, yes.
And he says the spell is designed to break when the skies burn.
When the sky is on fire, or so
Yeah.
Xanatos comes up with a plan to set the sky on fire, basically, and that goes back to the pictures that I put in the wrong
Yeah.
spot. But here's Xanatos coming up with his plan with the help of the gargoyles, and this is pretty much
Where they leave off, because that's Elisa after she got in an argument with Owen in Castle Wyvern. And while they're doing that whole prep thing of explaining this is what's going to go down, or just after this, after Elisa and Owen get turned to stone, we see Bronx scratching at a tapestry.
yes,
And Xanatos points it out. He's like, that tapestry is from the 16th century.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Brooklyn's like, yeah, just go lay down. Just go lay down. Nobody
yeah,
else pays attention to this. And
yeah.
he's shown to be very observant.
Yeah, he is. And he sniffs out something. They leave to go put gas in the sky, which they will light up later. When Xanatos leaves to do this mission, Demona is behind that
Yeah, she
curtain,
steps
and
out
that's
from
why.
behind the tapestry.
Yeah, that's where she was hiding. She finds out what has been going on the computer, and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna stop what Xanatos is planning here." But she says, I want to just take care of this thing right here, this human I've been trying to kill this whole time. I thought I took care of you already, which harkens back to the episode where she towards Elisa and thinking that she was had poisoned her and she was going to die. And she realizes that did not happen. So she's finished the job. And this is the cliffhanger. They left people for like a week
Yes.
to wonder what was going to happen. That's so
I
cruel.
think it was a week. It was either a week or it was like the next day or something. I don't remember how it was playing out because I'm pretty sure it was a daily series, like after school type thing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
I was not close to my high school. So I was like rushing to go catch these.
Oh, man. Wow. This is one heck of a cliffhanger. You don't want to get but we come to the last episode of City of Stone, episode 12. We see that the hunter is looking at all of the completion of the to be continued is that Demona doesn't get to do what she plans on doing because Bronx is there and
He's a good
is
boy.
yeah, she can't necessarily mess with him.
He won't let her hurt Eliza, and she's got that very clear. She puts down the mace. She's like, "There you go. Your precious little human isn't going to get hurt."
Yeah, I loved it. I was
And
like,
she's talking to him like he's a big old puppy dog, and
yeah, because that's what he is, you know. And
adorable.
he's like, he responds to her just like a puppy. Like he doesn't trust her, but he's watching her, and also he's like responding to her as well. It's just like, you know, okay. She pets him a little. He backs off, and the whole time she's, you know, telling him of her plan. But at the same time, you know, he doesn't know. I don't think he knows the full extent of her language, if you will.
During this, the gargoyles are up there with the Steel Clan and Xanatos, thinking they have like 25 minutes to disperse this gas before it, you know, self-destructs. She changes that timing down.
Yeah, she's able to. One thing that she says, well, I'm not going to kill the human, but I do have time to sabotage Xanatos's plan, which is really great. It's really smart. I love how smart they make Demona. The hunter arrives in fear of Demona's. And you actually see from fear in Demona's eyes when he shows up this time. It's really kind of wild. But then they cut back to 1057 when the hunter attacks Castle Moray, and Macbeth is being told that the only reason why the hunter has English forces is because they fear gargoyles and they should betray them.
And Demona overhears this.
Yes, and she does not even, like, for a second, even think like, hey, maybe this doesn't mean
maybe I should confront him about this. And
yeah, she's done. That was it. That was
like, oh, he's gonna betray me.
Yeah. So I better betray him before he betrays me.
Yeah.
And Macbeth's son he was raised right. He's like, no,
these are our homies.
Yeah. He was I was like, yes, you were raised right. I think that was, you know, Macbeth's downfall was he should have been more like,
he should have out and out just agreed instead of looking to his son and going, a wise king hears all, sides.
Yeah. Because that's basically didn't give her the confidence she needed that he was loyal to her, meaning I don't care what's out there. They've helped us with so much. He should have been the one to say the words his son said. That was his fault. I will say for sure. But Demona, she took it to another level. She did. So she deserted Macbeth. So there's a huge battle. There's no gargoyles in sight, but she instead went to the new hunter, and that would be Duncan's son. He's all grown up now and is attacking the castle with his English family, cousins, and such that despise the gargoyles, but the gargoyles have been are now fighting alongside them to get Macbeth. And
Macbeth had sent his son off to get reinforcements. But Canmore, Duncan's son, is showing up before the reinforcements come.
Yeah, I was very disappointed in this Demona, to be very honest. Like I was like, it didn't really take much for her to just like
assume betrayal.
Yeah, assume like
Prob
immediately.
and that shows more about her character,
Yeah,
because she was very quick to do the betrayal.
yeah.
And that is something that's something you actually do see in real life. People's reactions 90% of the time are a reflection of them and
Ooh.
not what they see outside.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like you see it all the time with couples who are cheating. The one who cheats, well, quite often, like 99% of the time, it's one of the biggest tells is they'll accuse their partner of cheating when they are
Yeah.
actually it is 100%.
Yes, I've seen that happen, and that has happened to
Mhm.
myself, yeah.
Same.
Yeah, you would have thought, like, after 37 years, they've been together for 37 years, not only in the pact of the loyalty of being together in the kingdom, but also, fighting many battles, but also the magical bond between them is something that's not shared between anyone else. And see, that should have been like, hey, we should be working together instead of against one another. And so this is really terrible. This gets Macbeth killed, and
Mhm.
his son becomes the king. Duncan's son, who's now the new hunter, admits
Mhm.
that he killed everybody, all the other
All the
gargoyles.
other gargoyles, yeah.
Yeah, so
Like,
I was completely heartbroken when that happened. I was like, "What? Oh my God!" Like I'm the
yeah,
gargoyles are just kidding.
her
Like,
overhearing this made her take her whole pack and leave Castle Moray,
yeah,
because again, she figured, they're going to betray me because, that's what I would do.
yeah,
So
and
she leaves them to their mercy.
yeah, she got them all killed basically, and
She got
never
everybody
takes
killed.
any. She doesn't take any responsibility for anything. But yeah, it's the humans. It's the humans.
Mhm.
The whole time.
The whole time,
So
she's like, Castle Wyvern, it was the humans, and
yeah,
Castle Moray, it's the humans.
and
Why
when
were
they
the Vikings coming
oh yeah.
to Castle Wyvern?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Care to explain that? I think what Demona didn't expect was when Macbeth was killed, she also dies as well. Because they are linked by this incredible sorcery.
This is when we find that out.
Yeah, they don't tell you that until they say it in a poem later.
Yeah.
Those weird sisters. Demona is resurrected and goes after Duncan's son, and Macbeth arises. So if one dies, the other die. But if they arise
If one
from that
lives,
death, yeah,
the other lives.
the
The
other.
only way that they can actually die is if one kills the other.
Yes, yes, and it's just like whoever's writing this is just they're having a ball. They are just
Mhm.
being just super creative and letting go, and I love it. I love it. Macbeth's wife sees this resurrection, and she's like, "What the heck's going on?"
Away,
It
ye
takes
ghost.
yeah. At first, she's like, "Oh no," and then when she realizes, that everything's okay, she's like, "Okay, you have to
Ye-
go away."
Yeah, you have to
And
disappear.
yeah, he says, "Come with me," and he says, "No, we can't both abandon our son." And I was like, "Whoa, she's a toughie.
Mhm.
How strong is that lady?
I
Wow."
mean, she's right though.
Yeah,
If he had shown up after everyone thought he was dead, that's why his son got the crown.
yeah,
Not only would that put him in danger, that would put his wife and his son.
oh yeah. The whole point of doing this entire pact in the first place was to keep his son and his wife alive from the beginning, and so she was very, very smart
Mhm.
and level-headed thinking going on there on her part by saying, "Hey, I can't go with you. I gotta go. I gotta go back to our son and be
Yeah.
with him." I was like, "Mwah, you're so good. Who's writing this? Who's writing this? You're amazing."
Yeah, why weren't you listening to her more often than
Yeah.
than her father? Because half the mess that keeps happening was because her father was giving advice that really wasn't sound.
Oh gosh, he's a mess. He's a mess. And I felt bad because there he is right next to Macbeth's son. And I was like, yeah, it's okay as long as you don't listen to that guy. don't listen to that guy.
Stop listening to him.
Yeah. The worst advice ever. And so, yeah, I don't know who sent him his crappy intel, but
Like, even from the start when Macbeth and, you know,
oh
the girl
yeah,
meet, her father's saying to his father, you know, Macbeth would make a much better king.
yeah.
And his father's going, yeah, nope, our family is giving full support to Prince Duncan. He'll grow into it.
Yeah. This is just really crazy. In the present day, Macbeth, they're going through this entire big fight scene. They keep going after each other, but it is just like one of those fights. They're really evenly matched.
Mhm.
Macbeth was just about to kill Timona.
Mhm.
He picked her up, and there was this like sharp thing coming out of the ground,
Yeah,
and
because
he was
they kept falling.
carrying her over there to
They
kill
were
her.
fighting so hard. They're falling through like solid rock. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it was insane. One thing I have to say is that the action in this is just really compelling. Not only just compelling, but it's exciting. They use their entire environment, everything around them. It's
Yeah.
just really wonderful. And yeah, they keep falling layers and layers down until they get to some of the beautiful layers. There's one layer where that they end up where there's like a river, and
Like a
it
little
looks
garden
really,
and everything. It's gorgeous.
yeah, it's gorgeous. And yeah, he was about to kill her. And the weird sisters show up, and they're like, wait.
Yeah, stop. In Goliath and Xanatos, because Xanatos mentions to Goliath about Bronx scratching out the tapestry, and Goliath is like, yeah, we got to go back now.
Yeah.
Which is good, because
Yes.
that's where they learn that the time has been altered, and they're trying to get the password out of Demona this whole.
This whole time, yeah, and
Yeah.
she won't do it. And that's a very important plot piece, is that she's really, they need to get something out of her, and she's too stubborn to
Her and Macbeth are just too deep in their fight with each other
oh yeah.
to hear any sort of reason.
Yeah. And I thought it was very interesting that Macbeth is the new hunter,
Mhm.
because I was like, there were tips from the very beginning of this that he was the new hunter. And I just,
He does have a distinctive voice.
yeah, the voice gave it away, right? And
She
I was
even
like,
mentions it at
oh,
one
that
point.
beautiful voice.
You know, he's standing there in the mask and talking, and she's like, "Just take the mask off, Macbeth.
I
It's
know,
not like you're
yeah.
fooling anybody."
Yeah, and
She's not
especially I
lying.
think when you see the moments where he's reacting to her being shocked,
Mhm.
she's like, "Oh, it's you."
Yeah.
So she knew exactly who it was while they were fighting each other.
I mean, I
And
figured she'd recognize his voice alone.
yeah, yeah. Well, I know I did, and I was like, that voice is, I wonder if it's him now. And then yeah, it turns out that it was. But also there's again lots of little clues, and they pay it off by actually, delivering the goods to you by
Mhm.
revealing who he is. I think the weird sisters show up because and I don't know how they're affected yet. We guess we'll find out later. Maybe not, but they are, and they do say a last line that kind of reveals something. But these two individuals are very important to them, so they put Macbeth to sleep. He's like, I'm tired. I just
Yeah.
want this to end. You know?
Yeah, they say to him, "Did Duncan's need for revenge get anywhere? Did so and so's need for revenge? Did it save your son from
Yeah.
Canmore?" And that that line just broke me,
Yeah.
because because they do address both when they first meet them. They do address both Duncan and Macbeth as King of Scotland and father of the future king. Again, right out of the Macbeth play. And that's going to have to go down in some way, but to hear that his son didn't make it, it's still heart-wrenching.
Yeah, yeah. Even though, and that was part of the pact, was like, hey, we'll keep your child, and your wife safe if we do this thing. That was part of his deal, and his deal didn't work. Yeah, that was kind of wild. So they put him to sleep. Somehow the Weird Sisters are helping to get the access code out of Demona, and I thought, I was like, oh, this is interesting that they would help.
And they
But
do the same thing with her. I mean,
yeah, which is
who
really
betrayed Castle Wyvern? Who did that? Who
Yeah.
betrayed this? And
Yeah.
even in the hypnotic state, she's still going. It was the humans.
Yeah.
It was humans.
Yes. Yeah, I loved all that they asked her questions, and it led to it sort of broke her down a little bit, like the psychological barrier a little bit, and they asked for the access code, and she's crying. Oh, I do have a visual on that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there she is. She says that the access code is alone, and that is very powerful, that she feels alone. And I think she felt alone since the beginning. That she just didn't feel like anyone was like her, even the other gargoyles. It's so funny that the leftover gargoyle, she's trying to kill them too. So she's just it's really kind of weird that she just feels like she's all alone in the world. Honestly, I hope that she finds some way of that she's not alone, doesn't feel alone in the future. And I think the only time she kind of felt like maybe she belonged was when she was with Goliath. She did care a lot about him in those early days, and before all of this but weird stuff happened, and weird stuff with the Weird Sisters. But before all the weird stuff happened, I believe she truly did love Goliath. And episode 9, she does give Goliath a kiss, and it left a tear on the stone, and I thought that was really sweet.
It went from her tear to looking like it was his tear, and it was such a powerful visual.
Yes,
because really that was the last time that they were truly each other's.
Oh gosh.
Sorry.
Oh boy, I think I need the tissues.
And what kills me in the entire episode is she meets up with these other gargoyles. She's the only female in the group. I mean, somebody would have, turned around and think that if you want to continue this.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. The Weird Sisters, they turned into all of the different levels of beings that they were. Like they were little girls, and they were grown women, and then
they're
older.
In how they present themselves to people across the board.
Yeah.
Every time Macbeth sees them, he sees the 3 crones.
Mm-hmm.
Every time Demona sees them, she sees the 3 old gargoyles. Goliath and the clan see them as 3 little girls.
Yeah. At this point, they're little girls, and they say that they have written the stories of these 2 individuals.
They are like our children.
Yeah, Demona and Macbeth. So there's something tied together with the Weird Sisters and those 2 forever, and then they disappear with both of them. And I'm like, where did they take them? Where did they take those 2? What's going on? So I really did adore that, and I'm going to go back to one more picture. Yeah, this is the picture of Macbeth straight up.
He's about to impale her.
Yeah. It's like,
knowing it'll be his death too.
yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
I'm just tired.
And look at the look, if you can see the look on his face, it is serious. He was not playing in that, but I thought it was really touching how it ended. The one thing that Xanatos said, which really was interesting, was that he was like, he wanted to save his city. New York City
Mhm.
is his city.
His city.
Yeah, it's like I was like, "Oh, so he does care." It's really interesting how you get a person like him who has a lot of power
Mhm.
and has been manipulating things and screwing around with things, and for all intents purposes, this was part of his fault because he allowed himself to be suckered into by the greed of his desire to live forever,
Mhm.
was suckered into this. And so
I do do you want to raise the question of, well, if he was planning on living together with Owen, um, why wasn't he including Fox in on this? I'm just saying.
slow clap, okay? Thank you.
Fox is your wife, but you're gonna keep Owen.
Yeah.
Right.
But, at the same time, he didn't fully trust
Oh yeah.
Demona. So he was
Like
like, "I'm not
right from the
hearing it or
word
seeing
he
it."
looks at right from the word he looks at Owen, goes, either watch it or listen to it, not both.
Yeah. And
Mm.
and and unfortunately, he did both.
Owen didn't get a
Um,
choice.
yeah. Oh, yeah, so they finally did get that countdown. They lit up the sky, and the world
It
is
was
none the
perfect.
wiser that anything ever happened. It's really
And
the tale
again, reasons
of
why this has to be set in New York. You need a big city to pull off this kind of stuff, and for most people to go, eh. I say that from being from a big city. You need you need, like, you cannot pull this stuff off in a small town and have nobody question it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, "Did you see that? Oh my god."
Did you see that? No. You're crazy. The sky's being on fire. Psh,
Yeah,
things
and I
flying
thought it was
around.
really
No. Get
yeah,
that's only effective in a big city.
yeah, I was like, "Oh, it's just a bird."
Yeah, it's just a really big bird.
It was a plane. It's a bird, it's a plane. It's gargoyles. Yeah, it was really, really
Mm,
well done. Wonderful story plots, great callback to earlier episodes in season one in particular. Lots of unanswered questions
mhm.
answered. If you did have those questions, how was Macbeth connected with Demona? It
Like,
was really
how
so
old are
cool. He's
they?
like,
Because that was something, the age of Macbeth was something that they danced around a lot too.
yeah, yeah. And it kind of makes sense if he's this immortal being. I mean, what a man. I mean, I wonder if he's single. Uh, I was like, my breath.
That's the
And
only question we really don't get answered is, does Macbeth have, like, a side piece or something
oh,
over the because it has been centuries.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's been 1,000 years.
Yeah, yeah.
No one would fault him.
Yeah, why not, But I'm just kind of loving the fact that here we have a person who is a human, though developed through the use of magic and immortality, has developed himself to the point where he can go to toe to toe with
With a
uh
gargoyle.
with a gargoyle and use
He can go toe to toe with Goliath.
yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I the first like the early episode when he was able to do that, I was like, wow. And then he had all of these really great like gadgets that
Mhm.
he has already tested and used. So
Like,
I'm
he know these things just came back to life in, like, recent years, and he is fully equipped and knows all about them, like, that you're like, "How?"
Yeah. It's great. It's just great. And yeah, what else can I say? I loved City of Stone. Damona is really setting herself up to be a huge threat. She was already a big threat, but even after this, it's scary what she can do.
Mhm.
The death toll, I want to know, like, how many people are missing, or
Again, the reason why it has to be a big city. Nobody questions that stuff.
yeah. They're like, oh,
Oh
there's
yeah,
just some
Margot's gone missing. Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
that's fine.
yeah. Like, yeah, unfortunately, she was turned to stone and then smashed.
Like that's why it has to be New York, because that, like, you could not do that in a small town.
Yeah.
You could
They
not
would,
have these people disappearing and all of this weird stuff going on and have nobody question it.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. Yeah, I think next we have the homework for the next episodes 13, 14, 15, and 16 from season 2. I can't wait. But yes, okay, so everybody, the homework is to watch those 4 episodes, and we will see you again next week. Take care, everybody.
Later.
Okay, guys, I'm live. I'm actually live now. Yes, that was our recording of week 6. It was so good. It was so good. And one of the reasons, I'll just explain really quickly why I thought to do the recordings rather than do it live. I just think because it's just easier for us to flow right into our thoughts about what we were watching right then and there, because sometimes during a live stream it could go on for like 3 hours trying to explain everything and then stopping to react to things. So I wanted to address like some of the bigger questions. Like, if anybody has any questions or anything that they want me to read out loud, go ahead and put that in the chat. But yes, the homework, let me pull up the homework for next week, because and put it in the chat just in case. For week 7, this is just so much fun. I'm having a ball. I just got off work, and so I got my adrenaline is running and everything. But wasn't that like a really great conversation we had? Even if you didn't know what we were talking about, but hopefully you do know about these episodes and you've checked them out. There's a lot of places where you can watch these episodes actually. And if you have Disney Plus, it's on that. But there's a couple other. I'm not sure. There may be some on YouTube that you might be able to see, or something like that. But here is the homework for next week. Yeah, that's the homework for next week. And yeah, that's gonna be, I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. Yes, Mama Bear says, LOL, we're done 3 hours of talking about it. Yes. Yeah, we like, trust me editing down this is just so much easier for you to understand, because unfortunately for myself, I do kind of ramble a lot. And so I just like like I'm like that, and so I cut all of that stuff out so you guys don't have to deal with it, and kind of make the pace a lot faster. And also I don't know, I think these are great recordings. I mean, I like the way we've been doing it. This is fun. It's just fun, guys. And Unicorn is here, says, Macbeth is my all-time favorite Shakespeare. And so I'm following along, okay? So I have studied medieval sculpture, and so I'm familiar with gargoyles. Yes! Okay, well, okay, first of all, did you guys ever see a movie in the 70s? It's Macbeth, and it was done by Roman Polanski. That was before all of the very what is it, controversial and like weird stuff that he did or whatever. This was like during the earlier days his um of his career before all the scandal, and this was right after his wife Sharon Tate had passed on. He did a version of Macbeth that was insane. It was amazing, and I think like that was my first introduction to Macbeth, and I was like, my jaw dropped when I saw all of the stuff that was going on in that movie. And I've really, like, literally wanted to see another, like, updated version of that movie. Uh, just very interesting. I don't know if anybody else had, ever seen a movie like that before. Dan Candy says, "Rambling is fine, no worries, Retro." Oh, thank you. Um, and Unicorn is saying hello and thank you to everybody. And Dan Candy says, "I thought you were going to ask if we had seen the Gargoyles movie in the 70s. Well, did you? I did. I managed to finally see that movie. I did a review of it. Um, I do believe did I make it public for everybody to see? Um, but yeah, I did finally see that movie, and it was very interesting. Um, it wasn't the best production ever, but it has good merit. It really does have good merit. And it does talk about 1,000 years, and it does have a rookery, but they called it something else. So there was a lot of connective tissue between this story, this series and that movie. But according to the writers of this movie, the one main writer, he says that he didn't see the movie and it just was a coincidence. But did love that movie. Like I said, it's not the best Chica movie ever, but it was definitely really good. And Dan Candy says, "I think it was made for TV." Yes, it is. It was made for TV. Yeah. Let me just look at it really quickly to see if I released it yet or if it's just yeah, okay. So uh I did release it to the public, so it's out to the public. And here, I believe Gargoyles. I think it was 1972. Not mistaken. Review. Yes, it says 1972. So let me give it. Oh, and of course I spelled it wrong. Gargoyles. 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 Oh, goodness. Um, and Dan Candy says, "A good deal. I'll watch it tonight." Yeah, you can watch it tonight. I mean, you can watch my review, but I believe also too, you can also catch the actual movie on YouTube. The last time I saw it was on YouTube. So, and one thing that's very interesting about watching movies on YouTube is that they will be on YouTube for a little while and then they'll be deleted and then you can't find them anymore. Even the ones that are for premium. It's very strange. But yeah, you could buy them as well, but I'm not sure. Like from now on, I'm just gonna try to get all physical media because I'm buying digital. I don't know if I'll ever like actually have it. So yeah, I'm gonna stick to buying things as far as movies are concerned, I would stick to buying physical copies from now on. So I totally understand. And yeah, it's really quite interesting. Um, so while I have you guys here, um, bear with me for a second. While I have you guys here, I'll let you guys know what I'm doing for the rest of the week. Uh, we'll see. I'm not sure if okay, yes. Thursday, I have a movie that I am taking out of the vault for members and putting it on live, actually putting it into the available to the public. So look out for a review on Thursday, which will be something I have watched for the very first time. So I'm going to do that. On Friday, I will be on the Anti-Derivative Jill's channel. We're going to be talking about Tank Girl. You'll have to go to her channel and see what time she posts. She's posting that one. I believe it's 12 p.m. Central, and I'm not sure what time that means for you. On Saturday, we are going to be watching 2001 A Space Odyssey. That is going to be a lot of fun. It's really a really wonderful movie with a lot of little details in every scene that we watch. So it's going to be a lot of fun to take a look at that. And I can't wait for some of you guys to like put in your comments of what you think of that movie, and different scenes as well. And then what else? What do we got? Oh, my friend Lorena Creel is having a 7K subscriber stream, so I'm going to be over there. I'm going to drop in for a little bit to say congratulations to her. And I think that closes out the entire week. It closes out the entire week. And if you guys are on Patreon, do look out for a really nice little update from me on Patreon on Sunday. That is coming right up on Sunday. And there we go. And let's see. Brandon says, do you do movies or just gargoyles? Oh no, I do. Yeah, do look at all of my and under my video tab, you'll see all of the movies that I've reviewed. Let me see if I give you a handy little. Oh yeah, this should do. A handy little link, so you can see all my videos that I've done. I really need like I know there's one other attachment that I can use, something called Stream Elements, that could do that kind of stuff for me while I'm doing live streams, and they can help people find my stuff. And do I do other cartoons? Well, right now, no. I will. It does take a considerable amount of work to do this. To like do a slideshow and put it all together, but I am definitely looking at other things. We're Mama Bear and I are talking about some cartoons, or not necessarily cartoons, but TV shows, but mostly I think they're going to be cartoons that we're interested in. I'm also doing going to be doing short, like one-off things where I do sort of a breakdown of a show, and that should be like 20 or 30 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're right now we're just going to go through Gargoyles and complete the series for this, and then we'll possibly go on and do more stuff. We're having a great time, so we're probably going to do more stuff. We just got to find the right ones, and so far we got a list, guys, so we'll see which one we might do. And Brandon says, all you do is old media. Is that why you're retro? Yes, it is. I do a lot of old media. I did do a couple of newer things. Um, and you can find, I think you can find it under my live tab where I did do some more recent things. But I do like the older movies. Just and I just like the style of older movies, and I'm learning that there are a lot of movies that I have not seen yet. So there's a lot of movies that I have not seen yet, hundreds of them I found, and I will be trying to watch all of those as much as possible. And Deuce Falco says, Space Odyssey is dope, isn't it? I really hope you can join me on Saturday and just, give me your thoughts of Space Odyssey. What do you think of the movie? And, Unicorn Rapids Studio says, Daisy. Oh, thank you, Mama Bear. She says she's a wealth of knowledge about classic movies. Thank you so much. That is really sweet. Um, I hope to be. I'm still learning a lot, and Brandon says, let's have a watch party for Critters. Now, Critters is a movie I don't think I've seen. I'm not really a big horror movie fan, but some horror movies do get in there, just because they're just incredible. So I'll put Critters on my list, and we'll see what happens there. And Dan Kenny says, my favorite scene is the three scientists having sandwiches and a coffee on the moon shuttle. Oh yeah, something about that scene. I just dig it. Yeah, that's a great scene. It's like just an everyday, like, yeah, we're just chilling. We're going to the moon. Yeah, no big deal. I really hope we can actually do that. I really do. Um, and Corin says, Dave, my mind is going. Yeah. And Brandon says, I'm new here. Well, welcome, Brandon. We really had a great time with you visiting with us today. So thank you. I hope that you return, definitely. Oh, and Mama Bear says, Skywalker the Jedi has a live stream starting shortly. Okay. Well, I don't know if you have to get going, but I'm going to try to see if I can see that stream as well once I'm done over here. So we had so much fun today. We really did. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says, my God, it's full of stars. Says I love 2001. Oh, great. Okay, so here's the thing. 2010, the year we made contact. What do you think of that, Unicorn? Is that something I should watch soon? I don't know. I do have a copy of it. And Unicorn says it's in my top 2. Wow. What's number 1? And also, Deuce says, I noticed you've done Nolan recently, Interstellar. Yes. And actually that was because of Unicorn Rampant Studios sent me a copy of it. Yes, that was wonderful. I really had a good time with the story. It was so much to chew on. I was like, okay, it had me on the edge of my seat. There were moments where I was frustrated because of certain characters, but it didn't take away from the 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 spectacular like moments of like discovery and like, oh, okay, there was intrigue, and it was almost like a thriller, a scientific thriller, without the horror part, without the gore and all that stuff. That water planet was just like, that water planet where the time is all messed up on that planet. It's just all messed up, and And then the waves that keep crashing into, you know, they're just waves and waves throughout the entire planet. It's really, really wild. Really wild. And Anand is here. Hello, Anand. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Let's see, Brandon says, "Wait, have you ever seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?" Yes, yes, of course. I did a full review of that movie. Yeah, that's a fantastic movie, splendid in so many ways, and I can't wait to do the watch party. That's going to be a lot of fun. And Charles says, "It seems I have to go back to watch Gargoyles." Oh yeah, yeah. It's good. It's I will say it's a TV movie, so the quality is going to be really bad. But then you think of it, it's like 1972. Not too bad for 1972. It gets more interesting, I would say, in the last half when you get to understand what the gargoyles are doing. And it's like, oh, okay. And then when you think of what's happening in that movie, and then you look at this TV show, you're like, huh. It's very interesting how the two are very similar. And Mama Bear says, "Critters was so fun. Tribble's gone wild." Really? Okay. Maybe I'll give it a shot. And Anand says, "Critters is hilarious." Okay, okay, guys. You know, you're making me want to do that. You're making me want to watch it now. And Brandon is like, "Yeah." I always love a nice little bit of comedy in my horror, so maybe that'll be great. And Unicorn says, "Yes, 2010 was great." Oh, good, good, good. Okay, because I was that was one of the things that I was like, "Oh, should I watch it? Should I watch it?" And Dan Kenny's like, "Is really good, exactly as the book." That's hard. That's hard to do. Yeah, that's really hard to do. Renan says, Husky, I'll slide over there. What's the channel name? Oh, okay. It's Skywalker the Jedi, and he does a lot of content to do with um, the oh gosh, it's hard to explain. Did she? Oh yes, Mama Bear explained it. Yes, yes, he does a lot of content to do with DC, superheroes, Justice League, and right now he actually is the one person who came up with the Cell, uh, Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix campaign that's happening on X, and so that's really a big deal, and it's really it might happen. It just might happen. It looks like it's happening actually. Unicorn Rampant Studios says number one is Jean Cocteau's Beauty and the Beast. Did I see that one? Let me go look. Let me go. Wow, you were surprising me right now, Unicorn. Um, did I see this one? I think I've seen this one. It is really cool. 1946. Oh boy. All right. Well, I'm gonna definitely inspect this because I'm not sure if I've actually seen this one. Oh, that is so cool. You'll have to tell me in great detail one day why you love this is your number one movie. This is wonderful. I love finding out stuff like that. That's fantastic. And Dan says really underrated. More people should watch 2010. Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, uh, you would think because it's a sequel, people would, are probably like not really excited to see it because 2001 was such an amazing movie. So, yeah, I think that's why. But um, I wanna see it now. Yeah. And Unicorn says 2001 because was written by both Kubrick and Clark, and 2001 because they did a perfect job. Arthur Clark was fully consulted, I believe. Oh. And Unicorn, so that just means those two movies are both identical to their written versions. Oh, okay. And that alone makes them satisfying. Okay, yes. Okay, I see why. I see why. And Homer says, this is my sister off when she puts me on speakerphone in the car and I start talking like Hal. I get it. Oh, it's so much fun to have those inside jokes with family. And Dan Candy, thank you so much. 1999 super chat, really, really appreciate that. That really helps out the channel. For popcorn and sodas for the watch along. Oh, thank you so much. I do have a thank you for you right over here. Here we go. Yay! And also, I don't want to forget Unicorn for the earlier gift of for the memberships. Really appreciate that. That really means a lot to the channel and to me and to everyone who's going to benefit from that. Let's see if I can get you. Here we go. Here's a big thank you. Yay. Of the music too. And Brandon was asking, oh sorry, Deuce was asking more about about Batman the animated series. And that's one of the ones that we were thinking about, but there's also a few other really good ones too that that we really want to do. So we're gonna figure it all out. Yes. And Mama Bear explains. And Brandon says, only Critters 1 need to watch, not the others. Okay. Okay. I'm sure. Anand says, have you seen Fantastic Planet? Yes, that's one. I've also reviewed that one. So, yeah, that's another one. That's one of my favorites. We're talking about Lalu, right? Just incredible. Watched Time Masters and also Gandhar. These are fantastic movies. Love them. And I believe at this point in time, I've reviewed all of them. and Mama Bear says, Ski is talking about J. Cole apologizing tonight. Oh yeah, I don't know who J. Cole is. I have no clue who that is. I always go to support Skywalker no matter what. Let's see. And Brandon says, one of my favorite old school comedies is Bringing a Baby. Yes. Okay. I haven't seen it, but it's on my list. I want to see it so bad. So that's actually, I'm going to write this one down. Do I have a copy? I don't know if I have a copy of it. So I'll have to look to see if I have a copy of Bring Up Baby. But it's on my list and I'm like trying to get it. And you also say I would love a competent remake. Okay. I hear you. And Mama says BTA's Gargoyles, X-Men, Beast Wars, the reboot are my favorites from the 90s. Yeah. Reboot is one I would really like us to do. Because it is one that okay, so at this point of my life, I was already an adult. I was adulting. But every once in a while, I would catch something that would get me excited, and Reboot did that for me. I don't know why, it just did. So, um, but I wanna I don't know where to watch it, so I'll have to part of the thing is, like, finding some place to watch it. Being able to watch the thing, is, so Bringing Up Baby, I wanna make sure that I get my hands on that somehow. So that's the next one. Oh, Darth Plato is in the house. Hello, Darth Plato. How are you? We're just finishing up and just having a little chit chat right now. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says Beauty and the Beast free on YouTube, multiple places, but that's the link for it right there. Okay, let me Oh, well, I have to come back into it, huh? Because yeah, from where I'm at, I can't get to the thing, but I will use this link. Thank you so much, Unicorn. You're awesome for providing a link. And for anybody who wants to watch, this link is right here for you. Uh, and oh, you're not a fan of Toonami? Oh, that was like the jam. Darth Vader says that was pixelated Fat Albert. But Unicorn liked Beast Wars. Oh, cool. Okay. I've never really Beast Wars was not one of those things I knew anything about. Um, well, did I or not? Beast Wars. I may have seen the commercial for it, but I just it didn't it didn't register. And Mama Bear says, not sure what was on Toonami. That wasn't here in Canada. Yeah, yeah. So like a lot of the stuff is like regional too, right? And Brandon says, Mama Bear Spoiler Kings need to step their game up on Super Chat. Thank you. Oh, I'm not sure what that means. Spoiler Kings. Oh, what does that mean? uh, oh, okay. Brandon says J. Cole is a rapper. Okay, so I was totally lost there. I don't know anything about the music industry right now. It is just so messed up. You guys are so sweet. Thank you, guys. You're so sweet. Oh, Unicorn, you like Bringing Up Baby? Okay, yeah, I do want to watch that one because it's looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Um, it looks like it's going to be up. Oh, that's a snuggle up film. Ooh. And Deuce says, isn't X-Men 97 dope so far? Oh, did you guys see that? I haven't seen, didn't catch on to the X-Men show when it came out. And I don't, I haven't been following the new one, but a lot of people are saying that they're really liking it. And Brandon says, J. Cole is a rapper who is beefing with another tall named Kendrick Lamar. Why? I don't know. Either one of them are tough guy. Neither one of them are tough guys, but they're big names. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about them. And let's see. Gonna juice down a little bit. Mama Bear says, beefing is a way of keeping the skills sharp and causing hype for their music. Oh, that's what it's all about. See, you had no idea. That's how they did the thing today. You get a beef and then and then you get the the Spoiler Kings, the channel. Okay, yeah, I got it now. Oh man. You guys are really and Deuce says Joker 2 trailer dropped today. By the way, it's a musical, so I'm conflicted. Well, here's the thing. It's just I was just on Sil Abdul's channel, and he was explaining that Joker 2 is they what they were saying is basically the music may be just going on in their heads, in the the heads of Joker and Harley, and not really like the entire thing. It may be a feature of the movie, but not the entire movie. Like, not the entire movie will be done as a singing thing. Like, people won't be singing to each other as they're saying, "Pass me the coffee." They'll be like, every once in a while they'll just go into song, and that's what we're thinking, and it's no really, you know I can't really like necessarily say for sure because the movie hasn't come out yet. But Todd Phillips is an artist. He is highly creative, and I think he's gonna do something special with this movie, or if not, create a lot of people who are like probably like half the people like it, half the people don't like it. And that's what true artists do. They make people a little bit confused about what they're watching. So we'll see what happens. I'm actually very much looking forward to this movie and the reactions of it. I'll say that when I first heard about this movie, I was not pleased that they were making a second one. But with the ideas that could be going on, I'm like, oh, hey, maybe. And like I said, Todd is a bit of an artiste, so he could really do something special. And Unicorn says it's just a good-hearted goofing with Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant. What's not to love? Oh yeah, I can. Cary Grant is just like amazing in everything he does, and I want to actually get. There's like is it like one or two movies that he did with um there's a lot more movies that I want to do. I want to just watch that he's been a part of. Like, I don't watch all of his movies actually. I do want to watch all of his movies uh, and see. And and Deuce. Brandon says, Deuce, she's definitely that wifey type. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Darth Plato says Joker 2 means shared delusion. Ooh, see? I'm getting excited. Hey, Thomas is here. Hello, Thomas. How are you? So good to see you. And he says that Joker 2 trailer was amazing. Okay. Yeah, I really liked it. Deuce Falco says shared delusion makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. That's why I did. It looks really good so far. I can't I don't see anything that really puts me off about this. Not yet. Not at this point, at least. Darth Vader says Batman the musical coming soon. Oh, actually, I wouldn't mind seeing that if they could do something special with it. And Brandon says, I keep telling people about a movie that just came out called Dogman. I'm going out on a limb and say that that's what Joker should have been. Oh, okay. Let's see. Just going to zoom down a little bit. And Thomas says that I like X-Men 97 a lot. A lot of people have said that they're really into it. I'm just completely out of the loop. I'm sorry. And Thomas says, I don't know if people dislike it or hate it, but that's them and their opinion. Yeah, I think so too. I'm in the middle of writing a new review, one of the longer like scripted ones, and for this movie that I'm reviewing, which I want to keep a secret until it comes out. I'm just surprised at so many people who hate this movie, and just sort of like, wow. So, and I have happened to love it, and so I think we all see, movies through our own lens, and it's really great to express those. And also, I think now that we're in a culture and where we're always expressing ourselves, it's hard to understand that if somebody else doesn't like something, that it's okay, and that we're like, oh, okay, you don't like that one, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. We can still be friends. Uh, and that's also coming from their perspective. If they can describe why, it's even better. Then you're like, oh, okay. Well, maybe if I explain to you my perspective, maybe you'll understand, and maybe you'll never understand each other's perspective. But it's nice to talk about it. I don't know. I think there's an opportunity to share, but uh, I, I'm not sure if we're just doing it quite right just yet, because people are fighting with each other about stuff. um, and this is Brandon. I agree. Joker didn't need an origin story. Um, Oh, I don't Brandon says I didn't like the first Joker. Yeah, yeah. Some people didn't like it. And for the same reason that you mentioned, Deuce. Yes, for those reasons. Darth Vader says Joker begins. And Thomas says I watched Joker again today. Oh, was it good? Was it good to you this time? 'Cause I figure like every time you watch something like that, it must be revealing something a little bit different to you. Um, and Brandon says, fun fact, Cary Grant turned down James Bond. What? I'm trying to think how he would be as a James Bond. I think at that time he might have been too old to play the role, right? Am I guessing? Well, he probably could have pulled it off. I think he could have pulled it off. Uh, uh, but yeah, it is physically demanding, and so yeah, he probably didn't want to be jumping around all over the place. Even though they're doing a lot, there were a lot of stunt people doing the jobs. I think it could be a lot of work to do it, and yeah, he's more of a dramatic actor. Um, let's see. And Thomas says that he's eating soup while chilling. Mama Bear says, and this is why we mesh. Yeah. Yes. And Sonia, am I right? Sonia, oh gosh. Oh, I can't understand your language there. Hmm. Yeah, sorry about that, but thanks for hanging out with us. I'm not sure if that's another language, I think. Let's see. And Thomas says, "Man, I'm totally toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, but I'm good." I've never seen How to Train Your Dragon. I know that's a lot of people mention that movie, and I totally forget that I have not seen that movie. So eventually, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. It's on the list. And Thomas says Joker 2 might even be better than the first. I enjoyed it. Really, really, wow. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of anticipation again around this movie, and there's nothing left to do but to see one. I mean, it could come out, it could be trash. People would be like, "Oh gosh, it's horrible." That they didn't know what to do. It was too many jumble up ideas. It's a hot mess. Or people could be like, "Wow, this is really nuanced. It's incredible. The music actually means something special." and it took me to places I never knew I could. That's what I hope people say when they come out of the theater to see that. I really want people to have fun in the theaters and enjoy movies again. And Darth Plato says, Kite Man begins. And Thomas says, it was fun. I watched it in a class with a group of men, with a group of role that made it more interesting. Oh, okay. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, it's nice to watch things with, some friends. Well, people. Yes. And Dark Place says Cary Grant was so close to 60 when Bond first went to the theater. Yes, okay, yes, I thought so. I thought he was going to be really, because that's too much. And just says he was fine in North by Northwest. Glad we got Sean Connery. Yeah, Sean Connery was, I think he was in his 30s though when he was doing that. And he was so fit. He was so fit. But Sean Connery was also a bodybuilder before then. So he had the stamina to do athletics for this, And back in those days, the whole like stunt, there were stunt people who did things, but it wasn't as enforced as it is more like it was in like the 70s and 80s. Started to become like a very strong thing here. Brandon says, keep in mind, Dr. No, the first Bond came out in 1962 and North by Northwest came out in 59, so not too far off. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what the okay. And Medusa says, don't forget about diamonds are forever. No, we could never. And I love the part he says, do you expect me to talk? He says, no, I expect you to die. Oh, man. What a movie. Uh, uh, oh, okay. So, Spoiler Kings. Okay, I gotta get up on the Spoiler Kings channel and see what's going on over there. And Darth Player says, I won't forget. I want to forget Diamonds Are Forever. You do? Why would you want to do that? Diamonds Are Forever. Ah. Well, I think I'm at the end of the chat, and I've caught up with you guys. I had such a wonderful time. We did have a great talk, and I appreciate each and every one of you stopping by to hang out with us. So, Mama Bear says she was going to send me a link. Cool. And Deuce says just subscribed. Oh, thank you, Deuce. You're awesome. You're awesome. I am gonna also check out Unicorn Rampant Studio. I'm gonna check out your link that you sent for that movie, Beauty and the Beast by Jean Cocteau. I can't wait. 1946. Oh, I've got some movies to watch. So, guys, I bid you adieu. Tonight is a wonderful night. We could probably hang out with you guys for another hour. But I better get to bed, and I don't want to keep you guys up too late. So, with parting is such sweet sorrow. Take care, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.
Retro Nerd Girl, you are clear for takeoff.